You do need people around you. You know, you can't do it all yourself. There are people out there that have been there and done that. You can learn from them. So the smarter side is so important. But you can't be super smart, have a strategy, have a great support system around you, and then go off and go make a sandwich. And, you know, go to the beach, go to a party, go see Eminem tonight. No, that's different. Hey guys, it's Anthony Baxter here, and you're watching episode 3 of the Smarter Hustle. Now, before I kick into the questions and jump into today's show, it's a very special day here in Sydney. We have the one and only Mashall Mathers playing at the ANZ Stadium, and pretty freaking excited. Now, I don't have Tony or any of the team here helping me interview today, so it's just me and you. There won't be any interesting banter, unfortunately. So if you haven't watched this show before, this show is a special show for me and for all the viewers where we answer questions on digital marketing and business advice. So we dive into any subjects, whether it be practical, practitioner, how do I execute campaigns, through some more high-level strategy and thinking. And I also share my 2 cents in the entrepreneurial business side of things. So if you haven't seen the show, you can have your questions featured. Just hashtag the Smarter Hustle and ask us a question on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Take a photo of the question or send text, however you want to do it. Even if you record a video, we might check that up. So really interested in seeing your guys' questions. We've had some really good ones come through. So let's get into it.
Jill from LinkedIn asks, is influencer marketing good for business growth, and how do I get into it?
Jill, I'm super stoked that you asked me that question. And personally, I'm a big fan of influencer marketing, and I've used it myself for my e-commerce business for them. And it's been amazing in terms of building brand very quickly, building trust in the market, generating content as well. So user-generated content, although it is influencer, it is with the product. So it's great for other marketing channels as well. But more importantly as well, it can drive sales, and it can drive sales very well. I mean, it's a very interesting concept that goes back further than Instagram or YouTube influencers. So paid sponsorships and that kind of thing's been around for a very long time. Very simple to get into it, and a lot of people overcomplicate influencer marketing, and it doesn't need to be complicated. So step 1, choose your platform. Where does your customers live? You know, where is the attention for your audience, your personas, your customers? If they do live on Instagram, then fantastic, that's your platform. But they may live on YouTube as well. You know, they might be watching YouTube. You might have an international product or SaaS business, etc. However, Instagram is typically the most popular influencer platform, so we'll start with that. So jump into your phone, go into Instagram, search some local hashtags, maybe Auckland, New Zealand, or Bondi, Sydney, Australia, or Melbourne, and have a look at the top performing posts in your area. That will give you an idea of some of the top performing posts and, well, influencers and just Instagrammers really, that are getting a lot of traction in your area. Now that can be a great place to find influencers to begin with. If you don't know where to find them, or you're looking for a very niche area, I really recommend that you dive into Instagram. You start using specific hashtags in conjunction to your business. For example, if you sell protein powder, then search the hashtag protein powder, health and wellness, fitness, Fitspo, all that sort of thing, until you find some relevant influencers for your business that have the audience that you're looking to attract. Sometimes we get a little bit confused, right? And we might have a female audience, so we think, right, I'm going to go find a female influencer. However, when you actually do your due diligence, you click their followers and you actually start to see who's following them. They may not be females, they may be males following her. So you really need to see what the engagement actually looks like. So step number 2, check the engagement, check the following. So do have a scroll through their followers. Check it out. See if they're legit. Are they local based? Are they in your area? Or do they have, some wider following internationally? Some people also buy Instagram followers. So, there's services out there where people can buy 5, 10, 15, 20, 100,000 followers. And these are bots, right? These aren't real people. You'll be able to very quickly notice if their followers are bots or not. Have a look at the usernames, have a look at the people. Are they real? Go into their profiles. If they have 1 or 2 posts only and their profile has a bunch of digits, usually 3, 4, 5 digits in their username, it's a no-go. If you start seeing a lot of those through the followers of that person, do not go there. Second is actually looking at the engagement on the post. That's super important. How many comments are there on the post? What are those posts, what do those comments actually look like? Are they engaging? Are they asking questions? Are they from relevant people? And is that influencer engaging with those comments, right? Are they replying? Is there some really good positive conversation going on there? That's super important, a number is just a number. I'll double down on engagement all day, every day over a fictitious number, right? So have a look at that. And then you can do a Google search, right? You can search influencer grading tool. There's a bunch of free ones out there, and that'll run some automation. It will tell you what are the average comments per post, what's the engagement look like, how many followers do they have, and a lot of these engagement tools will actually recommend how much you should spend with that influencer per post. So that can give you a good gauge as well. That's a couple of the steps to actually get into it. So if you've found a bunch of influencers that you're keen to approach, a lot of people overcomplicate it. So it's really simple, right? You hit the send message, DM, and you need to engage. So do not copy and paste a script or anything like that. Sure, you can have a bit of a structure and that's fine. And you want to get across, why you think they're awesome and how you think they're going to be a good fit for your brand and how you're going to add value to them as well as your story. Like if you've got a great story, your business has a social impact and is doing some really great things, that is what you need to share, right? Influencers definitely want to be aligned with a company that is doing good things. Not a dodgy business that just wants to sell some widgets and make a quick buck, right? They're looking for a long-term partnership. So talk about the long-term partnership. Talk about if this is successful, I'd love to trial it out. But if it works, I'd love to build a long-term relationship with you. Those are the sort of things you need to think about when you're engaging with an influencer. Keep it super, super personalized. Do not copy and paste. If you're copying and pasting a script that isn't personalized, you've already lost. So spend the time to think and look at the person's profile and actually have a personalized approach. And then step 4, once you've DM'd them with your requests, like, hey, I'm looking to partner with you, what would it cost to post, or even better, hey, I've got a product I'd love to give to you for free, and I was wondering if you could post on my behalf. A lot of micro influencers under 20,000 followers will post for free in exchange for your product or service. It's a win-win. They get your product. They also get a sponsored post, which can get them more influencer deals, and you get engagement. Now, you're not going to be able to negotiate a deal like that if you're talking to anyone over 20,000 followers. Usually, I have got a couple of 100,000, 200,000 influencers across the line. That's been amazing, and we've done some great work. But usually, you're going to have to pay, and you need to be ready for that. I mean, if you haven't done it before, you need to dip your toes in the water. If you've got a marketing budget, I'd highly recommend that you test this, because for a lot of businesses, it is working so well and it's building brand equity, and I'm a big fan. So, sorry, I'm rambling. Step 4, you need to follow up with an email. On their profile, there's an email button. Click the email button. I want you to follow up on the DM. So you're doing this immediately after your message, about half an hour if they haven't replied. And your email's essentially going to say what you said on the DM. However, there's going to be more information. You can include an attachment of your product, service, your business, your team, yourself. You could do a video recording. You can send that through. You have a lot more flexibility with email to give them the full picture and give them a lot of information. So send them the email, and that's it. Basically, wait for them to get back to you, negotiate a price, a free product or service that you're giving to them, negotiate a time to schedule that post and what that's going to look like, whether it's a wall post, a story, a bio link, or a combination of the three, which can work really well. And my only tip other than that is to create a specific link click. So either use like bit.ly, bit.ly, create a specific link click which either drives to your product page, to your website, to your offer, whatever you're promoting, and that will enable you to track the number of clicks, the traffic, the engagement from that influencer. And if you've got like me and we had like 100 influencers going at once, you can actually start to track which ones are performing better. If you're in e-commerce, you can create a discount code. So you can have 5, 10, 15% off, $5, $10, free this, free that off your order. Just use the influencer hashtag, influencer code on your e-commerce store, and that can actually enable you to track ROI as well. And that's really it, guys. Influencer marketing is super exciting. I'm a huge, huge fan. And if you haven't done it, what have you got to lose? Give it a crack.
Tommy from Instagram asks, how long do you recommend video content to be? How much is too little and how much is too much?
Tommy, great question, and I want to dive into it, but we have a freaking amazing interview with the one and only behind the voiceovers, behind the editing, the video expert, the guru, the one and only Xander, and we're interviewing him next episode. So I'll save your question for the next episode.
Greg from Instagram asks, how do I get into business when I need to keep paying the bills?
Greg, that's a really good question. And I think you've asked me that question because I preach, and I've got a feeling, I preach a lot about just doing it. I mean, I guess that's my mantra, right? Just do it. Don't overthink it. Stop procrastinating. Just bloody do it. I guess that's my strength, right? I'm not insanely intelligent. I'm not like this prodigy in entrepreneurship or digital marketing. At the end of the day, I think my real strength is I just go and do things, whether they're going to work out or not. And I will put 100% into it, of course, and execution is the key. But I will just do it. And when I started Firefly, I guess a lot of people thought, I just jumped into the business 100%. And that is the case. I put 100% effort in, but strategically, it wasn't 100%. I did have another means of income, of course. Like, you do have to be practical. I get it. And, you've got bills to pay. You've got responsibilities. Some people have families. Some people have, a lot on the line, a lot of bills to pay. Luckily for me, probably not luckily, I really reduced my costs down. So I was living in a little house in Mount Wellington in Auckland. Rent was super cheap. I launched Firefly in the bedroom with the $100, the 10-inch laptop, literally nothing but a phone plan that my mum, I was on my mum's phone account, so thank you, Mum, and I paid her back. But honestly, like I had really not a lot to invest in, right? So I had to keep an income coming through. Like I had to pay the rent, keep the lights on. I still had to eat, although those costs weren't a lot, So I wasn't living a super glamorous life. I wasn't living outside of my means, and that enabled me to actually jump into the deep end and do it. So for me, I had a commission-only sales role. I was selling phones, telco phones for a company here in New Zealand, and my day would look like this. I'd pick up the phone. I'd make 100 calls for the phone company. I would do what I did best, which was sell, right? I would sell, and try and add value by selling phone plans and mobile phones to businesses. As soon as I hit my target, which enabled me to live, enabled me to pay the bills, I would stop what I was doing there and I would start working on Firefly. On top of that as well, as I was working on the commission-only job, after hours, so after 5 p.m., that's when my time was working on Firefly. So there was no time for PlayStation, there was no time for movies, there was no time for parties or anything like that. It was grinding time, it was hustle time. And I think that's why I named this show The Smarter Hustle, because A lot of people say, what's better? Should I do it the smart way, invest a lot of time in strategy and try and like growth hack my way there? Or, can I just work my ass off and hustle and put in the work and outwork my competitors? And the answer isn't one or the other, it's both. Someone that does both will accelerate their growth and ultimately win. You do need to be smart. You need to work smarter. You do need people around you. You can't do it all yourself. There are people out there that have been there and done that. You can learn from them. So the smarter side is so important. But you can't be super smart, have a strategy, have a great support system around you, and then go off and go make a sandwich. And, go to the beach, go to a party, go see Eminem tonight. No, that's different. But if you get what I'm saying, right, you have to be practical. So I totally get it. If you're in a job, you're in a working capacity, try and find something that enables you to, do that, pay the bills, but doesn't require all of your energy, effort, all of your time as well. So in the after hours, you've got a bit of time, energy, and effort to actually put into your business and build it. And it took me 3 months to build Firefly, to set it up, to learn new things, to bring on our first 10 customers. And if I think about it, it was off the back of cold calls. Now, I could have been a lot smarter in terms of building that business, and the hustle side paid off for me. So, I recommend using both smart and hustle, and just working on it on the side until that side hustle and the income can support you to go all in. Because I am a big fan of burning the boats and going all in. But you do have to be practical about it. So take your time and wait, and you'll know when the moment is right.
Conor McGregor or Khabib Nurmagomedov?
Do I really need to answer that question? I'm assuming you've seen the Conor McGregor over my shoulder. Yes, I'm a fan. I'm looking forward to round 2. So yeah, we've got this.
Sandra from Instagram asks, if I have a limited budget, which channel should I use to grow my business?
Hey Sandra, that's a great question. And I honestly think you need to reverse engineer where your customers live. Like, where do your customers live and where is the attention? There's no one-size-fits-all approach to digital marketing, I'm a huge fan of looking at all channels available, being completely channel agnostic. There's a place for Instagram, there's a place for LinkedIn, there's a place for Facebook, there's a place for Google search, Google shopping. Sometimes there's a place for display advertising on GDN. Not all the time. There's 100% a place in email. That should be a cornerstone. Landing pages, website, of course, that should be there. Video content, a content strategy, 100%. There's a lot of channels, PR, blogging, I could go on. And I've created a digital strategy book for free, which goes through those channels, and I highly recommend you download that. So I'll put that in the link below in this clip. But my answer to you is really simple. You need to reverse engineer where your customers are and where the attention is. If you're in the B2B space, I would highly recommend that you double down in LinkedIn. LinkedIn is fantastic for reaching professionals, sharing advice, sharing ideas, and education. Now, taking that a step further, right? When you're marketing on these channels, you have to be channel specific. You can't start selling on Facebook when Facebook is a social platform, right? People go there to catch up on news, friends, family, be entertained. That's half of Facebook, right? If you start selling on Facebook left, right, and center, you become that guy at the party trying to sell Amway or Isogenics to all their friends, We're all here at the party, the barbecue, catching up, socializing, and usually there's one person. This is just something that's happened recently, so I'm sharing this from experience, but usually one person is there selling, sharing their amazing opportunity that's going to change their life, and they've got this protein powder and this company that's invested millions of dollars, and they're going to be a millionaire, and they want you to be a millionaire too. And just watch what happens when that sort of thing kind of happens. People start to disengage, walk away, and it's really quite awkward. So you need to think about the channels and how you market to those channels as well. You know, it's not just about understanding which channels you should choose. If you decide, you know what, high intent, people are searching on Google Keyword Planner, I can see there's tens of thousands of searches per month and the cost per click makes sense. I'm going to do Google AdWords, Google Shopping, etc., SEO. Great, that's fantastic. If Google volume and the demand is there and the cost isn't saturated and there's, you're not competing against international companies that have huge budgets, then Google is a great place to be. Social media, if you decide LinkedIn is your channel, fantastic. Double down on that, advertising and organic content, it's going to work really well. But you should really nail a couple of channels first, and you need to be channel specific, and you should test those channels properly as well. It's no good giving Google AdWords a crack for a month, it not working for you because you haven't given it enough time, budget, and experience to actually try the channel properly and writing it off. Too many people tell me, Facebook advertising doesn't work for me. 5 years ago, I was getting hundreds of leads. My business doubled. It was awesome. It was so good. But now it's just not the same. But when you actually look at what they're doing, they've got 2 ads. They've been running the same campaign for 6 months. They're not targeting micro niches. They're not targeting all of their avatars and personas. They're just running the same thing. And you can't write off a channel until you've really doubled down and given it a good go. And I think every single channel has its benefits, and it just depends what you're aligning your goals to. And I'm a big fan of digital marketing being 50% for the short term and 50% for the long term. So I hope that's been helpful, Sandra. And yeah, if you're looking for some more information, I highly recommend you read the digital strategy playbook that I created in the link below. Guys, so that's about it. We're going to keep it short and simple today. I'm super, super excited. Eminem is tonight. I've got a mate, Shane Moore from Mint Design, who's also going to be on the Smarter Hustle in a few episodes to come. And next episode, we're interviewing Xander. We're deep diving into video content, how you can create video content for your personal brand, for your business on scale, looking at both quality and quantity and the strategies behind it. So I can't wait to share that with you. If you have any questions, please, hashtag SmarterHustle. Our team will be fielding those questions. We'll feature you on the show. Ask us any questions that you've got, business, digital marketing, even life. I'll try and bring my gray hairs out and bring the wisdom to the table. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Smarter Hustle. Subscribe to this channel if you loved this content and you want to see more of it. And then go off and go make a sandwich and, go to the beach.